no sound apparently from Noah. Let's check. Can the audience hear my beautiful voice? Or are we on no sound land? All right. Well, it seems like no one can hear. Oh, so apparently you can hear me. You can hear the. It's because of the shades, right? Like the shades help the audio go through. So here we go. The Run a Show. We got our bonus scenes. We premiere them every Monday at 5:40 p.m. Pacific. We're going to start in Norway, always first, and then we're going to follow up with Pennsylvania. Now, I'm going to hand it back to Noah. Noah, let's hear your crystalline voice. Let's see if it comes through. So like it's kind of funny for the audience because I can hear Noah, but you can't. So this is a newish issue. We've done. I think it's the first time we've had this where I can literally hear my co-host, but like the audience can't. This is a new one. In What If we're doing all the full roundabout, the full perspective. No, are you okay if I steal your thunder for this bit? And then while we get this audio thing sorted, right? Because we want to hear your voice, but. I can ride the audience on this one. All right. So, production, let's get that content tree up. We're going to stall for time. We're going to do that minute while Noah learns sign language quickly in 1 minute. But the What If is similar to what most of you remember as DVD extras. You're going to unlock bonus scenes. Since we made tons of extra content, you deserve to see it. What happens is that the choices for a week are made available for that full week. Once these decisions close, playlists of the winning extra scenes are made available. As you can see on our beautiful tree on screen, what happens is essentially the content tree is the canon run. So we're going across the canon run, but we're kind of going different branches, right? So like the scenes we're checking are going off the canon run and like, oh, here's what would have happened at this time. So we're kind of visiting these different branches as we go up the trunk. So let's check. Noah, have you learned sign language? Oh, for more. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, the sign language for more. No, for communication. I'm curious. I don't think they can hear you, but they can hear the faintest bit of Noah's voice.
Oh man. Oh dude. Well, should I keep going or do you want to take over, Eduardo?
Oh no, Noah's back. You're back, baby. Let's do this. Take over.
Oh my god, that's what happens when you switch the blade on the guy with the shades. I don't know if anybody is familiar with 80s music. If not, look it up. Well, we will look at the key scenes that will air for Norway, and hopefully I'll come back with my voice again because I don't want to sign language Morgie again because I might get fired. So, production, can you please show this up on screen and we'll be back. Wait, no. I'm sorry.
Not quite yet. This is a talking segment. The upcoming Norway key scenes. Thank you, production.
I got thrown off.
What? It's all good. It's normal you were thrown off. We couldn't hear your beautiful voice. So what's family for? Carl makes his choice responding to Mette's advances when Astrid arrives in need of some support. And the funeral, Astrid gives her eulogy at Ingrid's funeral, and Carl watches over Orson. So Noah, this is like these were some of our setup scenes in Norway. Like the action was heating up.
Yes, the action was indeed heating up. I'm going to pull up my fan and hope it doesn't screw with my newly reacquired voice. But because there was a lot of a scandal. Basically, we witnessed the scandal of Carl mooching with Mette, no other than Astrid's aunt, Ingrid's sister. This was appalling, and also he gave her the ring, and it did not mean to get engaged. It just casually gives her dead sister's ring, and we are going to see a different outcome now, which is not quite as scandalous.
No, so we'll talk about like the key scenes, the decisions you made, audience, but I'm gonna say I actually like the canon run along. One of my favorite like lines from Astrid. It's like, "What the fuck is this?" Perfect. I loved it so much.
Right.
We're not gonna get that clearly. Just
But she was really Sastrid in that moment, as our audience likes to say. She was Sastrid in the canon run, and now she's not as sassy, I think.
No, a little less Astrid and a little bit more. I don't know, Wrongstrid? Is that the one? We got to find better.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll think about it. But now it is time. I'm really sorry I got confused before. We will look at the decisions we made for Norway. Production, can you please put this up on screen? Eduardo, take it away.
Absolutely. So, how will Carl respond to Meta kissing him? You chose what I thought was the best option in the canon run with Kiss Her Back, but for What If, we got Shut Her Down. Now, how will Astrid eulogize her mother? Again, I love the, like a lot of the times they're like, oh, redemption all the time. Redemption at morning, breakfast, redemption at night. But this one was great. Say she was a monster. Now, in What If, we're going to see what happens with Forgive Her. So, like, Astrid forgiving her. Honestly, now that we know the whole story, forgiving Ingrid feels really wrong.
Yeah, it's a lot. We did find out on the end of the canon run that the emulator is actually derived from the request to emulate her, and by her we mean Eva. She's not quite a gentle woman. I would say maybe a bit rough around the edges. Maybe there's a lot to forgive there. But we also saw our Astrid becoming Badstrid / Sastrid in this What If run, and she's kind of more identifying with her evil mother Ingrid, which may explain, as Eduardo keenly observed before, that may explain why she was forgiving this time around.
Yeah, it's just a different take, right? And by the way, I did like Drew's suggestion. Carl chooses to kiss Leho this run. I don't actually think that's an option, but I admire the spirit.
Oh my lord, I would love that. Thank you, Drew. You might get a call to write the next season. I don't know, but I like where you're going with this. But yeah, so we're gonna see a completely different path here of we're gonna see suffering path, which is surprisingly what one might consider like the mellow path of forgiveness. But yeah, and by the way, Meta, that scene is not it wasn't a fate decision, I believe, right?
No. It was, straight up like, do you want them to love each other or not? No fate, just like purely romance. That's all we were about here.
Yeah, no fate, just romance. So that's why we wanted to still emphasize it this time around. But now it is time for production to premiere the Norway scenes. We will be right back here with you afterwards, audience. See you in a bit.
No. This isn't what I want.
But I thought...
I know. I just think we should leave the past in the past.
Papa, you here?
Angel, what are you doing here?
Just running errands for the funeral, and I was hoping I could grab the ring. The Undertaker was asking for everything we want to dress her in. Thank you, Papa.
I still think you'll regret not taking it.
I don't.
What? Is something out there?
It's just Orson. I had to leave him in the car.
What? Why?
He's throwing a fit. I don't know how he's going to make it through the ceremony.
I know what the answer will be, but the offer still stands. I could watch the boy.
Fine.
Mette could help too.
I'd rather she not. Orson doesn't know her well. Look, I just need you to make sure he doesn't go up to the casket. I don't want him to see Mama like that.
The boy deserves to say goodbye to his grandmother.
He's too young, Papa. He might cry about it, but you just have to be firm with him. Damn it. That's the funeral director. Just watch him for me. You owe me that much. This is Astrid.
I understand you're going to say a few words.
My mother wasn't an easy woman to get along with. I won't deny that. I know that if she was here, she'd be criticizing every choice I made in putting her funeral together. But that's okay. She was difficult, yes, and I forgive her. I never told her I forgave her, but I like to think that she knows. I hope so, anyway. Goodbye, Mama.
But I want to see her.
Papa, you said you'd take care of him. Please, I have to deal with all the guests.
Don't worry. Okay. You want to see Grandma? Come with me. If you want to say anything to her, I'll bet you she'd be able to hear it.
I want to go. No, let me go.
Just calm down. You'll be fine.
If it's all right with you, I suggest we move things inside. At least until this fog clears a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get my son. Orson? Papa? Orson? Are you there, Angel? Orson!
Oh my God, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. This was so intense. It forced Eduardo to do a quick outfit change. We're gonna throw to the Norway showcase video. Production, can you please put it up in the background? That's what's family for, where Carl makes his choice responding to Mete's advances when Astrid arrives in need of some support. Now here, and I'm not gonna acknowledge at all what the magic that Eduardo just did, by the way.
No, we don't need to. It's all good. Like, I want to talk about this scene, by the way. It just, somebody is like, I think I saw a pair of sunglasses under there. Like Mr. P slash, that's the spoiler. Like, anyways, now the thing is here. With this scene, I really like the original so much more. Like, just having them like the whole Escandalo was like one of my favorite moments with like, one of my favorite things to see with you and Layla, Noah. Like, you two, like watching that scene live and the audience reaction, I think it was like one of my favorite times. Like, but it reminds me of it. Like, it's good to see alternative scenes because sometimes I like seeing some of these bonus scenes, but this time I'm happy because it tells me that like the audience chose so well the canon run.
Right, you don't know what you got till it's gone, you know, sometimes. But yeah, I dig, you know, like in terms of character, I love that Carl was like, let's put the past in the past. I'm grieving my wife, you know. I'm giving the ring to my daughter, which is where it's supposed to go, according to my dead wife, aforementioned dead wife. You know, and Astrid's all happy with it. She's like, I'm going to put it back on Mom, you know. She'll die with it. That's cool. You know, it's a lot more mellow and kind of like responsible, I feel, which is boring. Who wants that?
You know, the responsible, like, I forgive her. Nah, the original scene as well at the funeral last year, like, she was a monster. Although there was one part of that scene. So there were two decisions that actually affected that scene, right? The second decision was how will Carl keep Orson calm during the funeral?
Okay.
Now, yeah. Right. Well, that was a bit different this time because the audience chose let him say goodbye to Ingrid for what if, the damnation option. And like we just see this close up of Carl from down below, like, do you want to say like do you like just threatening the kid?
Yeah, and as ain't nobody want to see their dead grandma right now. You know, nobody asked to see this corpse. The child did not, you know, he does not want it. By the way, that's how I was treated as a child. when my grandparents died. It was like, hey, look at them, they're dead. So, you know, I relate. And of course, it gave a result, a very stable, normal, functional human being. So things are looking good for Orson. He's getting the same training that I got. But it was quite harrowing to see Carl, you know, because he's always so old and wet and sad. And now he's not old, wet, and sad. He's like, you're going to see a dead body, buddy.
And I mean, who wouldn't want to raise their kid that way? Honestly, this pathway is more like Carl the irresponsible grandfather, which I'm all for.
Right, I love it. Well, okay, but now it's time for us to discuss Pennsylvania. So, production, can you please put that up on screen? Eduardo, take it away, please.
Yeah, so tonight we're going to watch the severing ritual. Begins at the foundation. Well, kind of the steel mill, really, let's be honest. Yeah. This was like kind of Toby's final fate decision. We got a toast to you where Eric memorializes Toby at the bar. We'll talk about this when we talk about the decisions, Noah, but Norway, you know, set up and all that. Pennsylvania is going to be something else tonight.
Yeah, buckle up, audience, because Pennsylvania, we're taking you on a dark train to the underbelly of the beast that is Pennsylvania. Just kidding. I'm not. This maybe was an oversell, but maybe I took it a bit far. But it's going to be really. I was excited. I was titillated, thrilled, and you know, and a bit emotional when I saw it. So I think you're in for a treat because we do have something completely different. With both of those, we're going to discuss it in a second when we talk about the decisions, right? But yeah, Eduardo, what were your initial feelings when you saw the difference in the scenes here?
Well, actually, we'll talk about it as well when we go. To be fair, I had noted to talk about it later, but we can. Tonight, there's free scenes because the scene with the severing ritual kind of ends like half on a cliffhanger. Even the original scene kind of did that, so it's not like a surprise for you. There was something I felt that was lacking for you, the audience, tonight. So we got a third scene in. So a little bit of an alternative take on what happens to Toby at the end. We dug deep into our archives. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we go to the decisions. There's a few notes actually about that scene before we let you watch it too.
Yeah, we're not going to just let you watch it without knowing what you're getting into. We are going to explain it. But now it's time to discuss the decisions. So production, can you please put that up on screen? Eduardo reads very well. And by the way, Eduardo taught me behind the scenes how to read some English. So thanks, Eduardo.
Absolutely. It's important. Education's important. And you know, like in these scenes, there's very little education, unfortunately, to be had. But what will Toby do for the severing ritual? Instead of sacrificing himself, he's going to turn it against Rachel. And I know there's a lot of people who dislike Rachel, so they'll have a good time. Although I know a lot of more people liked Rachel after that interview with Wilma, with our guest voice actor, Wilma, which good. Now, at the bar, how will Eric memorialize Toby? Instead of delivering his spiteful send-off, Toby's, that is, in Redemption, we're going to celebrate that he's gone. I'm telling you, tonight is going to feel very, very different. It's like the first scene with the severing ritual. I think the audience is going to have a reasonable time. It'll feel good. You'll see something different. The other two scenes, though, oh my word, they have a slightly different tone shift.
Yes, ma'am. So by the way, we're going to talk about the cameos a little bit. We also have different cameos here. There was an iconic cameo in the original Toast scene. And I'm not talking about Metoast or Metze, as I like to call her. I'm talking about Toby's post-mortem wards toast. Well, we had in the original, we had the iconic, unforgettable bearded barmaiden. And now you're going to say something different, also quite exciting. And I personally loved it. Should I tell them, or you just wait till after, Eduardo? What do you think?
Well, they won't. They'll feel a bit different. Like, well, we don't have to spoil exactly what they'll see. We'll laugh a bit at it after, but suffice to say, the cameos have not been are lacking a little bit of dress up abilities there. But yeah. Ate's asking why no trauma mug. I mean, we've gone for the trauma together. Right now, it's all like sunglasses and sunshine. Anyways. Right. And actually, before we watch the scenes, that third scene, when I meant we dug deep into the archives, I do mean it. Like, the scene, like, it was pretty obvious that Toby wasn't really going to be facing a really too horrible a threat. So, you know, at some point you go like, okay, well, we had prepared the thing, but such it is. So we're going to show you a scene where some things are going to be missing. You're going to see a monster that's going to be very silent. What's going to be there, you're going to hear the background soundtrack. You're going to hear the dialogue. So you are going to get the important parts, but it's going to be normal that in that first scene, the audio is going to be silent at some points. That's normal. We know that, you know, that scene needed work, but we really wanted to make sure that you saw a little bit of a different take on Toby's ending. And that's why we're delivering that to you tonight. It is an important enough scene. Enough of a bonus scene, you know, that extra, and we'll make sure you do get access to that audience.
Right, so, okay, get comfortable, because it is time to premiere the Pennsylvania scenes!
You actually came.
Let's get this over with.
Before we begin, I'm a man of my word, and so a promise must be kept.
Xavier Wood?
I said, come here. When one Foundation member causes another member harm, even in service of the Purifier's will, this breeds blight and must be addressed. Now that that's done, you, our blessed, must take care of this much greater source of blight.
Let us begin.
What you're doing is important, Toby. You may just save us all. No!
It was you. It's always been you. Rachel is the blight! She brought this withering!
You're not going to get out of here alive, Toby. Not now.
I'm looking for Toby Sorelli. Have you seen him? I want to buy a round of drinks.
Excuse me? Hey! I need to say something! Next round's taken care of. Courtesy of Toby Sorelli. You won't have to worry about seeing him again because that asshole's gone. So here's to one less asshole in Hope's Junction. May he fuck off and never come back.
I'll drink to that!
Thanks for the drink. Can I return the favor?
Thought the Foundation looked down on drinking.
Never stopped me before.
I should get to work.
How? Shit! 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 I tried to avenge you.
Tried and failed. Like always. You're hopeless.
They did this to us, not me.
Welcome back. I hope, and I am quite sure you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for coming back. Well, it was quite different indeed, eh? Eduardo, let's just throw to the background video. Production, can you put up the severing ritual? We have a lot to unpack here. So let's start with the severing ritual. Which of course starts with our beloved Zane, just for funsies. Every time something bad, there is a Zane there. And yes, Eduardo also is a miracle worker, basically, with many tricks up his sleeve and on his nose. But yeah, so we have here, we're going to go to it in a second, but basically Rachel is getting double knifed. At first she gets knifed by Xavier. We're going to get to it in a second. And then Toby turns on her, which is a fun change, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, I was a delight watching the audience kind of enjoying the sunglasses changes, but also like what happened here, right? And I mean, to be fair, I think that my favorite out of the three by far is that scene, where Eric is kind of at the bar, and like very different tone, right? Because like all show during the canon run, we're like, Eric and Toby, they were good friends, they really cared for each other. Could you imagine if that scene had aired? Like just a totally different. No,
it would be a shocker, really. I don't know if we could handle it. But wait, first of all, okay, wait. Here we're getting to the part where Xavier is blaming Rachel for everything. Surprise, surprise, Rachel's the scapegoat. And then he's like, okay, we got to cut you up because you killed Joy. And then he's going to cut her up. And because Rachel is such a strong woman, she's unfazed, unbothered, and uncut by this slice. And then we proceed to our boy Toby, who is going to meet his doom in a little bit. And not quite here, because there's a turn of the knife. It goes right into Rachel's neck. By the way, she's strikingly beautiful, in my opinion. I think she's a very beautiful woman. I don't know where's a good time to mention it. I guess this is as good as any. Yeah, so that was the ritual scene. Now we got to talk about the bar scene.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, who digs the bald man group? Bald guys to the front, to the back, everywhere, really. We have them. And I loved it. I enjoyed it. For me, it is relatable. I don't know. I was around many bald men in my past. But then, of course, we have the toast. Eric decided, instead of saying to the bar, fuck you, to everybody there, he said it to his dead friend. Quite the opposite. So we saw with Norway, Astrid, instead of talking shit about her dead mother, we saw her apologizing, and here we see Eric, instead of talking shit about the town, talking shit about his dead friend.
Yeah, no, just like, you know, like he basically said fuck off to everybody in the canon, and in this one he's like, here's to one less asshole in Hope's Junction, may he fuck off and never come back. Like,
And they're
a little bit of a different take and tone.
Right, and they're all like, yeah! Like, they dig it. And Krista is also unfazed. She is on a mission. You know, she likes what she sees, and she's gonna go after it. Also, a very strikingly beautiful woman. But she's not bothered by the fuck you to Toby. What does she care, right?
No, it's just like Krista's like in it. She's like, I'm good with this. Let's just roll.
Yeah, let's just roll. And then, of course, we saw Toby meet his damned doom. You know, the collector never misses a finger. We got that. So we got to see a lot of things tonight. Eduardo, I feel like we really saw a whole other, like, this is What If in its best, I feel like. When we see really, really What If.
Yeah, no, like, we definitely want to, you know, showing like as much bonus content like this. So we hope you, the audience, enjoy it. By the way, that first scene is actually not going to be in the What If playlist. So I do want to shout out the people who record this show. I know Turbo Bastards here. I think like one other person does recordings too. Like, because that scene like was actually put in quite late. It's not actually part of the What If because it wasn't part of a decision that you changed as an audience. But we wanted to like kind of make sure you had it for, because we, you know, you came tonight and you come often, like many evenings. So we want to make
when they're
sure
lucky, they come often, but you know.
Yeah, but like, you know, it's nice to like, you know, be rewarded for your time, get a little bit of extra spice, right? A little bit more insight into what could have been, what you could see. Okay, shout out to Otaku Gamer too, I guess, because he records as well. But
yeah,
or they record as well. Sorry. But, you know, like the big thing there is fundamentally like tonight, what Toby was a character that was short-lived but burned bright. And whoever, you know, he kind of redeemed himself. And I think one of the big differences in like when he got damned wasn't just that, you know, his sister was like, you tried and fail, like always, you're hopeless. But for me, the real thing is that last line, they did this to us, not me. Essentially going like, it's not my fault.
Right.
I'm not to blame. No. And that's ultimately the damnation, right? It never was my fault. Right.
No accountability. And that is why the finger is collected. But that's why it's damned. But it is time to start wrapping up here. We had a lot of fun. So let's start to recap. Eduardo, can you do the honors, please?
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. So let's talk about, you know, Norway, we kind of had a little bit more of that setup, but we saw Carl and Mette not getting it on, essentially with Carl stopping the action there, talking about like stuff like the funeral's coming up, take care of the kid. Like that was more important than what the fuck is going on with some drama and the scandalo. But again, it tells us the canon one was great. And the fact, like, I think what's funny about the scene with the funeral is, you know, back then, if Astrid had forgiven Ingrid, I don't think many of us in the audience or here would have gone, you know, that seems fine to me. Why is this so bad? Now that we know the full story, absolute horror show. Do not forgive that. Monster all the way, burn it to a crisp. But, you know, at least, and obviously we got menacing sad old wet man Carl. Menacing old wet man, that's the one.
Right.
Now in Norway, we definitely got something very different.
Sorry. Bad old wet man.
Bad old wet man. All right. No country for bad old wet men. That's fair. Now, right, in Pennsylvania, though, you got to see like kind of Toby's end in a very different light. You know, fighting off Rachel, essentially being damned by not having any accountability whatsoever. And fundamentally, Eric, not really his best bud at that last moment, and more like, I'm glad he's gone. Like, okay. It's very, 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 very different take. So production's going to put on screen the information for next show. Because the thing is, all these what if scenes, again, except for that third one, which was kind of a treat for you tonight that you got to see live, you can watch those bonus scenes. You know, next show we watch the bonus scenes together. That's at 5:40 p.m. Pacific. Just a quick announcement. Because you're gonna worry that I'm not there, so I'll let you know. The shades are also because I'm gonna be on vacation, and actually for quite a while. I'm gonna take some time off, but you'll be in Noah's company. You'll be also in somebody else's delightful company. You'll get to see them next Monday, but I just wanted to warn you, I'll be missing quite a few shows, but I'll be back after that. It's a long vacation. You know, family, loved ones, I want to take some time with them. So don't worry, not leaving you in full just for a while, but want to make sure that like I let you know, right? Like, because I love being with all of you, and I want to make sure that you all know that, like, because yes, one time I did miss because I was sick. I won't go into details there, but this time, trust me, at least I'll be having a good time. Drew, sorry, I can tell you it won't be the return of Layla. It should be somebody new. Right. So that'll be nice. What are two of your loved ones?
Eduardo is not allowed to get sick anymore, by the way. He was only allowed to do it once, and that's it. It's done. So
once a year, right? Yeah, that's the... and of course, you know, but I'll be happy to come back, right? And like Noah will be here, and you definitely want her delightful company.
Yeah, don't leave me. Everybody else leaves me. Audience, don't go. But anyway, we really appreciate you joining us here tonight. Eduardo, you know I always love hosting with you. You will be missed. But unlike my dogs, I know that even when you leave, you are coming back. My dogs always think that I'm gone forever. But Lottie, thank you so much for going through this roller coaster of emotion with us. And Eduardo, you are killing it. King of style, grace, and swag. Lottie, thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Have a good week. Till then, rain, shine, or otherworld fog. See ya.